Hello, everybody. I'm Mikey.
And I'm Corey.
Every week we discuss and review a new book, movie, album, TV show, or honestly any piece of art or culture that ourselves and you guys choose. This is Mind Control. So there was these people who were being kidnapped and mind controlled.
Exactly, dude. And I can totally see how that happened. Because, like, imagine if you were just given acid or just drugs like that are so disorienting for hours and hours on end and never being able to come down and not feeling safe and having somebody tell you things and accuse you of things, you know? Yeah.
Mind control. That's how we do it, baby. GG's Mind Control.
On today's episode of Mind Control, we are going to be discussing the 2020 Matthew Mcconaughey book, Greenlights. Released on October 20th, 2020, Greenlights is a memoir of Matthew McConaughey's life. Matthew McConaughey is an American actor born on November 4th, 1969, and who grew up in Uvalde, Texas. Greenlights is a collection of memories, poems, advice, and bumper stickers, all centered around moments in McConaughey's life told in chronological order. It provides insights, tips, and tricks to live in life. At moments funny, insightful, heartfelt, and philosophical, Greenlights is a highly entertaining guidebook to trying to live life to its fullest. Much of the material for Greenlights came from diaries spanning a 36-year period, starting from when McConaughey was 14. Put together over a 52-day period alone in various locations, McConaughey went through his old diaries and composed his approach book himself. Originally equipped with the ghostwriter, the writer was removed from the project early on, leaving McConaughey up to the task of finishing the book alone. This is Greenlights. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Mind Control. This is Corey, aka the Un1verse, with Mikey, aka Audible484.
What up?
Aka Slap Your Mama.
I like it.
On today's podcast, we're going to be doing the Matthew McConaughey book, Greenlights, which I never had any intention of reading this book. Didn't even know it was a thing, actually. And then I think my mom got it for me for Christmas. And then I was like, "Oh, cool." Yeah. So I was like, "All right, I'll read it." And then I read it, and then I texted you after. I was like, "Oh, maybe we could do the podcast about it," because I was like, even though the stories and everything's pretty straightforward, about his life, like I really liked his outlook on life and his very easygoing, also but hardworking too in a way. Like I like the balance that he gives, and I just like the whole just kind of just fucking living, and that life. He says a lot of things that I feel like you and me have talked about, and when I'm his age, I hope I'm at that stage. Like I feel like for his age, he seems like he's at that perfect stage where you want to be at that age, where you're looking back on everything and able to get lessons from your life. Because some people do the 40, 50 and they're still a fucking mess, I mean, I'm pretty sure I probably will be, so I'm just saying to be able to be at a state though, where you could fucking go though, and look back though, and learn life lessons. And I thought it was cool. And it made me really want to do things. It made me want to travel. When I was reading it, it made me want to like, fuck, dude, it's true. Like, what am I doing? Like, life is meant to be lived. Just like Soul is very like similar, like the way it made me think about life. Like, fuck, it should be lived, like experiences, Like,
I feel like just to add real quick, I feel like the choices that we've been making, like for the podcast, are been like it's like this weird like rhythm that we're following. Like they seem to connect almost always. Like the things where the podcast and like one after it seems like they connect. It's like it's happening at the good times. We're making good choices.
Yeah, and I feel like too, like it's interesting to see like doing like Jim Carrey and then doing like Death Grips and shit. It's interesting to see. I mean, that's not. I guess I'm thinking more of Father John Misty, which we're gonna do because he talks about the Chateau Marmont a lot. But it's interesting this things that I've learned through doing the podcast, like things that like I didn't really know too much about the Chateau before Death Grips or like certain episodes I didn't know. But then it's cool like going forward doing things like I see these things popping up in
Greenlights,
different
the Chateau.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's brought up in these. And now, because of my understanding in Death Grips and then hearing it here and seeing it Father John, now I feel like I understand it so much more. Like if somebody were to bring it up, I'd be like, oh, yeah, the Chateau. Yeah, and it's like really cool. And like you said, I do find myself reading things. Like when we did the Soul podcast, like bringing up things from this that I'm like, now I'm connecting things that I would have never in my life connected Matthew McConaughey, Soul, and a lyric from a Death Grips album, But now it's like, they all interchangeable, it's cool.
For sure. Absolutely.
My bad. But what did you think about the book?
I loved it, dude. I really liked it a lot. I actually had heard of it like maybe like a couple weeks before you had mentioned it, because he did the podcast on the Joe Rogan Experience. And so I listened to that podcast, and just the way he talked about, obviously Matthew Mcconaughey is just dope to listen to, and he's just a dope person. But the way he talked about how the book was made, and like how he wrote it from just a bunch of journals he had, and he went and took these vacations to write it all and like bring it all together. And it just sounded like something that I would like to do one day, because I mean, on top of that, on top of just would love to do that one day with my own life. But I just thought it was super interesting and really cool that he did that. And it was just a dope concept. And I'm glad we fucking did it, dude, especially because like the timing of it was perfect. It was like around a time where I needed some fucking positive like reaffirmation, and just like, hey man, it's all cool, right? Just some some McConaughey voice in my life. And it hit really hard. And it was the voice. Yeah. So was this the first time you listened to an audiobook or no? I mean, not the first time, but for the podcast.
For the podcast for sure, and for the first time in years. My mom used to listen to him a lot, but like I never really did. So, but dude, just the fact that he read it, because when I read it the first time, I was thinking, man, I kind of want to hear him read it. And then you told me he read it. So I was like, oh shit, I definitely got to, because that's the whole time I was just reading it in his voice anyway. Yeah. So, and to hear it was cool, Yeah,
the way he pauses and the way he tells the story, and like the way, the way he uses it, it's like the way he reads it is fucking, is an experience in and of itself.
No, dude, it was good. I actually, I was going to bring that up at some point in the podcast too, that I'd recommend like anybody, like if you can get it, read it for sure too. Mm-hmm. But if you're willing to pay or just do the free thing on audible.com and just get the book, like I feel like this is worth listening to, sure. Especially because he reads it, and it's like, it's written like he's talking, in a way, at some parts. So it's like cool to hear him say it.
I was curious about that too, because yeah, exactly. And I was curious about how it was going to come off on the page rather than him reading it, like how he was going to, because the pauses he takes, I was just like, I wonder how that's going to look. So when you sent me these pictures of the poems, is that how you just read those poems from those pictures, or or is it like a picture on top of the text or something like?
Yeah. So like it's like let me see. So see, this is how it normally is, and then like, can you see it?
Yeah.
Like this normally, like these things at the top normally start like a new paragraph, and then like they're like long, they're short stories, and then it ends right there. But then there's like a note here, or there'll be like there's a couple things though that he didn't. There's one in here that he didn't fucking like. This one's like just a big ass note in the middle,
Oh wow.
And there's pictures and shit. There's one that's in the middle of the book that honestly, like, he doesn't say it in the audio one, but it's really hard to fucking read because it's like written in his writing, like, and it's like, I can't find the page, but it's all over the place, and it's fucking, I couldn't even read it because it was just like so hard and like chicken scratchy. Yeah. But it's cool. It is cool to get the book because there's a lot of visuals and shit, but I really liked listening to it. Would have definitely have been enough, but it is cool because you get all those pictures, which you don't get with the audiobook, so you see him with his beard braided and shit like that, I think I sent that the files. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I thought it was super dope. I thought it was written very fucking well. I thought it was written surprisingly well. And then I was like, just really, it was Jordan Peterson did a podcast with him, and how did he call it? He called it, shit, I should have fucking thought of that before I even brought it up. But he the way he described it was kind of like, what was it? Like a psychedelic memoir or some shit. That's totally not what he said at all, but it was just the way he described it was very well. But yeah, it was definitely weird and different, and it reminded me a lot of the Jim Carrey book in the way that it was definitely a different, and not necessarily even a memoir, but just like something new and different. So I connected. There's a lot of different, not connections in any other way, but just that. But that it just reminded me of the Jim Carrey book.
Actually, Matthew McConaughey said too that it wasn't like, he wouldn't call it a memoir. He called it an approach book, which I think is cool because it's true. Like, because it is memoir-ish because there's bunch of stories about his life.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it also like, even though there's a bunch of stories about his life, there's not like a running narrative, you know, where, I mean, besides the idea of that it's just in chronological order, but there's not like, I don't know, like even the issues he gets into, like they don't get like, it doesn't get like dark and deep like you would expect a memoir to. Like instead, I feel like it touches on a bunch of different stories and then mixed in with the poems and the bumper stickers kind of gives you this overall idea of just like the way he approaches living each day, you know, which is cool. Which when he said approach book, I was like, that doesn't make sense because it's not a traditional memoir either, you know. And it does have those qualities, but yeah, it definitely like that's what I took from it when I was reading it. I was like, man, like there are things in here that I want to adopt. Like I want to start traveling. Like I think that's a great fucking idea to go disappear by yourself for a week or two. If you know, like to go be alone for a week or two just with yourself with nobody else, no phone, nothing, and just recalibrate your whole shit. And I was like, dude, that's how you get to know yourself, you know? You take yourself away from all the distractions and I like how he says that too. At one part, he says like, you know, the first time he's like, I'm not gonna lie, like it gets ugly, you know, like I'd be crying or in tears and shit like that because you have to just like face yourself, but like it's cool.
It definitely sounds terrifying because if I think about it, like I have like 50 or 60 vlogs from when I was like 19 to like 25 or something like that. And that's not a good time in my life. I don't like the person that I was, but I documented it very well. And I have, you know, songs and fucking posts and different things, Instagram posts, and I could legitimately easily, you know, fucking timeline my life from the beginning to the end in a very, I could, you know, definitely do, but it sounds terrifying. Like just to think about going through those old vlogs and seeing those old people and, oh God, like, bro, it's part of me literally after reading this book, my low key I thought about the vlogs a lot, but I low key thought about privating them because it's just like, ugh, God.
So nobody else, dude, you know, I'm glad you brought it up though. Cause I actually meant to bring it up in the beginning. I was going to say that about you. Like, you know, like, cause when I read this, that's another thing that I got. I actually have one. I haven't started yet though. I've been lagging every day, but like, I want to start writing, even if it's just like 4 or 5 sentences about my day every day at the end of the day, you know, just like, you know, and like over time, like, you know, just add little things in here or there. But like, I like how he's been keeping these journals. I was going to say about you, like, that's kind of cool for you too, even though it might be like a scary thing and you don't really want to see them. Like, it's cool for you though. Like when you are fucking 50, like if you, let's say you never look at them again, even if it's hard, like when you're older and in a better place, like it would be cool to be able to go back. Like you could just see where you've come from or how much you've grown or where you still need to grow. And like it's a cool idea. And like for me, I never documented too much of my, like, besides the things that I've done with you and just like music and shit, I don't have that much, you know? So that's what I've been thinking about the journals. Like I really couldn't tell you a definite timeline, especially once I started partying and shit for a lot of things, just because in a way my brain and time is so scrambled, you know, from like things happening. Like I really wish I would have maybe not videoed, but at least been writing things. So I really want to start doing that, which is one of the biggest things I got from this. That it's like, that's a great fucking idea. Even if you don't plan on writing a book or nothing, just to document it. Either way, memory is fucking slippery, you know, like 100%. Even if you don't fucking party, it's still slippery. It's memory. It's not actually there, you know, dude. The only thing that's there is the present.
There's literally memories that aren't even real that I have. Like they're lies that I told myself that I've told that lie to myself for so long. I remember it as being real. Like
I've had that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember there's this thing basically when I was what was I fucking 18, I got fired from Jiffy Lube because I was stealing money from the register. And it was just something I obviously had to lie about in future jobs. You know, I couldn't, work at Valvoline and be like, oh, why'd you leave Jiffy Lube? I was stealing money. You can't really say that. So I lied for years. And then one time me and Danny and the homie were talking and he was asking me why I left Jiffy Lube. And I was like, oh, I quit because I lied when I didn't need to. And Danny looked at me. Danny was like, what the fuck? He said, what? You believe that shit now? I was like, oh wait, no, it was wild. It was like, I forgot it was not real. Yeah, for real. So it's like, it's definitely, the memory is super weird and you can create false ones on your own. And it's like this book was, definitely like really cool to see, he even I think mentions like I don't know if it was in a podcast or not, but that it was like he started forgetting that he remembered things. Basically, he like you know
he
he's
says
like,
that in the
oh,
book. Yeah. He's like, you forget how much you actually do remember. You know, you just need that little bit of a reminder, and like you remember these things clearly.
And that poem or whatever, there's like a little thing that he says. I think it's at the very very end, and he says, and it's like he describes what he wants in life, and it says something about winning an Oscar.
And then how he's accomplished a lot of these things.
Yeah, and he accomplished a lot of them, and then wasn't it he? Yeah, well, he wrote it. Didn't he write it? What time? When did he write it in his life? There was like
wrote
a
it
moment.
in like 9. Yeah, it was like in 90, like 5. What? You know what? I don't know why I don't just pull it up. I got the book right here.
Yeah,
and it is at the very end. So
I think it's the last, very very last thing. It's one of the last things he reads.
It is the very.
And I remember he says it's at a certain moment, like after, like when he's super young.
It was written September 1st, 1992, and let's see. Oh yeah, so it was written 2 days after finishing Wooderson and Dazed and Confused.
That's what it was. That early. Yeah. That's crazy.
I was gonna say, should I read it? Should we throw it up?
Read it. Yeah, read that. Yeah, hold on. Which one is it?
It's I don't know if I sent this one actually. I'm not gonna lie.
All good. Yeah, no worries.
Should I still read it?
Read it. Wait, what's it called?
It's the 10 Goals in Life.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was written in September 1st, 1992, which is 2 days after he did his first role in Dazed and Confused. So number 1, become a father. Number 2, find and keep the woman for me. Number 3, keep my relationship with God. Number 4, chase my best self. Number 5, be an egotistical utilitarian. Number 6, take more risks. Number 7, stay close to my mom and family. Number 8, win an Oscar for best actor. Number 9, look back and enjoy the view. And number 10, just keep living. And I feel like he's actually done like all of these things on the list, you know?
Yeah.
So that's cool. And, you know, look back and enjoy the view as like, that's exactly what this is. You know?
Exactly.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, he has another list. I mean, not to get off of it. I don't know if there's anything else you want to say about
No,
that.
go ahead. I just thought that was dope. He was so young.
I did send this list in it the pictures. Is the one that he did for his role for Reign of Fire.
What's it called? A Reign of Fire training routine?
Yeah. I thought it was pretty funny. The one he did. Have you seen Reign of Fire?
I saw it when it first came out, like a long time. I haven't seen it in years and years and years. Yeah.
We watched it again the other night. It was pretty good. It was a little slow, like from what I remembered, but I wanted to watch it just because of that part. So we watched it again. It was pretty good, but dude, I just really like the training regimen. Like take a double shot of tequila every morning and then run 5 miles across the desert. Dude, I just don't understand, like, since he's an actor and shit, probably has a team who said it was okay to run across the desert with no fucking shoes. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the rest on here, I could see, like, okay, you're trying to do even sleeping cows, I could see, but I was like, dude, in 108-degree weather with no shoes on the fucking, you know, in the desert, like that just sounds terrible.
Yeah, I would thought that was such a hilarious part that like he like did all this stuff. So people don't know. This is basically what he wrote down that he would do daily, right? When he was shooting Reign of Fire, because the guy in Reign of Fire, his character was this fire breathing, or not fire breathing, but this fucking dragon slayer dude, badass dude. Yeah. So he wanted to do all these things so that he could be as badass as that character. So you want to read them? Just like maybe the bold?
The main,
I only have 4 here.
Yeah, it's only 4.
Oh yeah, just the main parts.
Yeah, just the main parts. So number 1 is take a double shot of tequila every morning at sunrise before I get out of bed. Number 2, run 5 miles across the desert daily barefoot, 2.5 miles out and 2.5 miles back. Number 3, keep my heart rate below 60 while standing on the edge of the barn's rooftop, overlooking a 40-foot drop onto the concrete. Number 4, run out into the pasture every night at midnight and tackle sleeping cows. But yeah, it's funny. Like in the book, I like too how he goes into each one. Like he's like, on the 6th day of taking shots, I threw up, and he's like, and then it happened the next day, so I stopped. And then what he said, like after like 10 days of running, his feet were so bad he couldn't even walk. Yeah, dude. The cow too. I was like, dude, I was like, that sounds pretty crazy to go out and tackle cows.
Yeah, that was one of the wild. I mean, the run thing sounded wild too, but the fucking cow thing scares me. Like that shit. Yeah, cows are big and fucking strong, dude. I
said he got a concussion the first time he tried it, right? Yeah, like I bet, dude, they fuck you up.
Big ass walls, bro.
Big ass walls. Yeah. No, I just wanted to bring that up though because I thought that part was kind of funny. Like,
Yeah,
I
hell
thought
yeah.
it was cool.
Dude,
Yeah.
I really like the way he talks about like obviously the way he tells stories is amazing, but I really liked how he talked about this trip he went on with what are that family, the wallaby, not wallabies,
The ones in Australia.
yeah, I
The
forget the
fucking-
name. I don't know, some Australian name, but the way that he even does the accents.
Yeah. Oh,
Norville's, yeah. Norville was the name of the guy, no?
Let me see.
I think Norville was the first name, no?
Oh, you're right. It might be. Maybe I don't. Yeah, because I don't remember the last name, but yeah, the Norville I think was the
dad. Yeah, but it was just I loved it. I got lost in that part for some reason. It was just really like the idea of this boy getting going to Australia and like this weird thing. Like it just kind of was like, wow, this is like a book in and of itself to me. And it was like, that was interesting the way he told it and the suspense that kind of grew. You kind of like started to wonder like what was going to happen. But yeah, I like that part a lot for some reason.
No, dude, honestly, I actually did too. And I liked like the lesson he got out of it, like how he said like it taught him to be alone because he was pretty much alone for a whole year, these people weren't really like him. And then like B, like how he said it taught him to stand up for something, like just something he believed in. Cause it was only him. Like when he said that they asked him to call them mom and dad. And he's like, that was the first time, like, I finally was like, okay, I don't care if this is cultural differences. Like, I'm going to draw the line there. Like, I have a mom and dad. Like, respectfully, no, I'm not going to call you that, you know? And I like, though, even though it's a small thing, I like how he talked about it as a lesson, though. It taught him that, like, to stand up for things. Like, even if you're the only one and he was all out there by himself, he could have easily just did it to make them happy while he was out there to avoid a fight. But it's like he stood up for something. And I just like the little lessons he would learn in like these moments that he would talk about that didn't seem significant to me. But then after he would talk about it, I was like, oh yeah, like I could see like, and you're that age, you've never been out on your own. Now you're completely alone. And dude, I like the stories with the family too. They were a fucking trip. I didn't really understand them quite. Like with the daughter, when they wanted him to kiss her, I was like, is that like a joke or like, I don't understand.
I think so. Didn't he say in the beginning of the book that he was molested when he was 18?
He did. He said
he doesn't tell that story.
Yeah, he doesn't tell that story.
So first off, I feel weird even bringing it up. Maybe it's not right, but that kind of was the connection that he didn't tell that story, but I don't necessarily know if that's what happened but I don't know. To me, that was like, okay, I don't know. Maybe something happened there or whatever, but because wasn't he 18 at that time too when he was over there?
Yeah,
maybe it was earlier. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I think he was 18 because he was like right at the end of high school, I believe, or it was like his last year of high school, or like
something like that,
or his first year out of high school. Yeah, so he was around then.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, they never really go into that story.
Yeah. Yeah. Either way, it was like to me that I took it as like these were fucking weirdos. Like, and he.
Oh yeah, no, it was weird either way.
To me, it seemed like he was just trying to not. If anything, he's not holding on to like animosity or whatever, and he didn't want to just shit on people. Maybe, and I have no idea. Who the fuck knows? But I think they were fucking weirdos, like sexual.
And for people who don't know, they wanted him to. They wanted Matthew McConaughey. He was staying with his family because he was doing the foreign exchange student type program in Australia, and the mom and dad wanted him. Well, the mom more so wanted him to kiss her son's girlfriend on the lips for some reason in front of the whole family. And it was just a weird scene in general. I wasn't expecting it. I mean, I like though that
was it the son's girlfriend? I thought it was the daughter.
Yeah. No, Meredith was his son's girlfriend. That's why he said, like, don't you, like, it's unfair to me, her, and your son, and he talks about the son, like, having his fists, like, curled up because I think he's pissed off. But I was like, why would they? Yeah, it's definitely a weird story. But they seem like a weird family to begin with, But, dude, I like that part in Australia, too. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I sent, you don't have to put it in, but I'm pretty sure I sent the picture of his like Australia ID card because I figured we'd talk about Australia. I was like,
I'll pull it up. I can pull it up. Yeah, for sure.
It's just a picture, But when he went to Australia.
Oh yeah.
But dude, I thought that was.
Yeah, I know. I have it. Yeah, I see it. Tiny little baby boy, Matthew McConaughey.
Dude, that's another thing I meant to bring up because of doing this book and shit. I finally know how to spell his last name. Dude. It took me a while, bro. But when I was writing the intro, I was like, no, I got to write it right every time so I learn it. So now I finally know.
Once I add the titles and all that, I'll probably by the time this episode's out, I'll probably know it. I'm getting there.
Yeah. No, dude, it's definitely weird. It took me a while. Like I was like, fuck, green light.
Green light. I love the fucking concept of it, dude. Green lights and yellow lights, red lights, like the way he talks about lessons and the way that you can turn, red lights into green lights. And, it's just kind of like this idea of just like looking at every situation as either a good thing for you that's going to help you, push and keep going, or a thing that'll hold you back. But even then, if it holds you back, it can still be something that pushes you forward if you choose it to, if you can make it that way. So it's like,
yeah, I think he worded it too, like turning a yes or turning a no into a yes. Yeah,
there you go.
Like, yeah, which Absolutely. Is like because that's like you were saying. Like I like that. Like because he says that I think in the beginning of the book too. Like things that are red lights. Maybe today it's a red light for me, but maybe next week because that happened, or next year because that happened today, something else didn't happen, or blah, blah, blah. So it's actually like,
You start to sound like him, dude. You start to sound like him. You're like, maybe today won't happen today.
You got to keep on living, man.
Dude.
Back in Texas.
There's this podcast, Your Mom's House, with Tom Segura and Christina Pajitsky, their husband and wife. But for the last, because Matthew Mcconaughey has been doing a lot of like promo and stuff on social media.
Yeah.
So they will pull clips from his social media and things that like he's saying, like, and Matthew McConaughey is very colorful with his language and the way he talks. But they just literally just laugh at him the whole time. And it's like, because if I saw that video without them laughing, like I'd be like, oh, that's deep. But then seeing these people like basically they're doing it lighthearted. They're not really making fun.
Yeah.
But they're trolling him a little bit. And the way they make it loud, they're like positive. They're like, what the? But it's hilarious. It's funny to see.
I've seen a couple of things with like Tom Segura, but I've never seen the podcast with both of them. But I've seen a couple of things with him because he does a lot of comedy shit, right?
Yeah, he's dope. I love them, dude. Yeah, they're fucking dope. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, from that like Legion of Skanks or something, right?
Oh no. I don't think he's on Legion of Skanks.
Oh, okay,
there's other guys in that shit. I don't think he's on that. But yeah, no. I have a few notes. Like, so I like these quotes. I'll say a couple of them. Earn your Saturdays. I've heard that before in other ways, but that was like I felt like when the way he talked about it was fire, and it kind of made me like think about it like. That's kind of exactly why it was hard for me to enjoy partying and going to festivals in the later years, because I didn't feel like I earned it. And I've said this, that exact words. Like, I remember like being at these amazing events and having no money in the bank and having like, no savings and having no car and all this other shit. So it was like, I didn't earn it. And it was like, I didn't understand why I wasn't having fun anymore, kind of. And it was because I didn't feel like I earned it. So it was like, damn,
I think that's a super valuable lesson, dude. Because like it's true. Like I never experienced that with the festivals, like per se, but like with partying, like I do. Like sometimes, like it would get to. I'm honestly for a long time. It would a lot like even when we first started this podcast and just anything like it would be like I'm going out and doing this, but then it's like and then I'm fucked up for a couple days. But it's like, what did I do last week that was. I don't want to say anything important, but what did I even do last week that made me feel like I deserve to have a night off and go party? A night off from what? Like a night off from smoking weed and sitting on my ass? Like what the fuck do I need a night off for, And then like this week, like I didn't really party Saturday, but like I got drunk. I talked to you Saturday, because we watched the fight. But like I felt better because like I had gotten ready for this podcast all week. I was ready. Like that's why like I was ready. Even though I didn't want to do it Sunday because I was a little hungover, like I felt ready. And because of that, like going out Saturday night, even though because I told Frankie, I was like, I really don't want to go. I was like, but I'm down to watch the fight. So whatever. And I'm not going to pay for it. So we went and because I had done shit and ran all week, like it made me feel better about going out, like earn your Saturdays, because then I felt like, you know what, if tomorrow Mikey does still want to do this podcast, I don't have to be a little like, because that was my main thing. Because I feel like I've done it to you before with other things where it's like, I want to do something, then I get fucked up. Then the next day I'm like, man, I don't want to do it. So like, that's what I had told myself before I went Saturday. Like, at least be ready for Soul. And if he wants to do it, like, well, I'm fucking ready because, and it made me feel better about going out. It's like, I shouldn't be going out if I got nothing going on.
Exactly.
Which doesn't make sense. too.
No,
but at
it
the same
does
time, it
because
does.
like we think about the act of partying. It's a celebration. Like, what the fuck are we celebrating? Why are we saying cheers to we done nothing? Like, what the fuck?
Cheers to what? Yeah, doing nothing all week and just coming out.
But we're celebrating nothing, just sitting in a living room or a fucking dining room table. Like, it gets frustrating to me sometimes. But, even I had a discussion with somebody, a good friend of ours. I won't mention because I don't know. I just won't. And it was like, I kind of started was told to basically understand that sometimes when I'm trying to help people or give advice, it comes off judgmental and but it's so, and I get it. I understand it all, but it's like, damn, that's true. And it's kind of like, I don't want to ever come off that way, but man, do I see the positivity in sacrificing and being, and the things I'm trying to say. It's like, I learned so much and I'm in such a good place and I'm seeing good habits and I'm seeing ways to be better that it's hard for me not to want to share that with the people I love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I could see. I see what you're saying, but I also see what person X is saying. Like, it can,
absolutely.
I think I've maybe told you before, like things that you've written, like, and then you tell me you don't mean it that way, but like the way it reads or something, like, most people would take it as almost like sitting on a high horse. Like,
oh, absolutely.
Like look at me, I don't do it anymore. You shouldn't either. But I get what you're saying. It's more like, oh, look at me. I feel better now that I'm not doing it. You got to try this, But it doesn't always come off that way.
But because probably it wasn't that way forever. And I can honestly say that probably in the beginning, there were times where it was high horse bullshit. And, but it's hard to finally get to a place where it's not that and then still have that little echo there in certain friendships or relationships. But what it is like, I'll say that, like, I know, what person X, and I learned my lesson. It is what it is. But at the same time, like, it's just super hard to not, like I said, not want to share positive things. Fuck, I lost my thought. I forgot what I was going to say, but we were talking about that. I don't know. It was just like kind of, it's not
it sounded like that was the thought. Oh, sorry. Go
ahead.
No,
go ahead. I'm still lost. I don't know. I forgot what I was getting at. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely learned a lesson in the whole situation or whatever. But, God damn it! Now you got to pick up. You got to do go.
No, it's cool. I do feel what you're saying though. Like, because like it happens with me and Frankie sometimes, and like I feel that way. Like, because obviously like we go out and we fucking both turn up and shit. Mm-hmm. But then every once in a while, like, I mean, it goes both ways. But every once in a while, like, I won't really be in it, and it's like. Mm-hmm. And then like she wants to party still, and like I'm not even like trying to be an asshole. It's more like, nah, but I don't want to party. Like, you can if you want, or like, why don't we just stay in? Like, we'll both feel better tomorrow. But then if it's a certain night, because sometimes we're both on that same page, but sometimes we're not, and it's like, okay, like let's just stay in. I was like, tomorrow we're gonna feel way better. We'll actually get shit done. And it's like, well, but then it's like, it becomes like, well, when you want to party, we party. So like, we'll go party or something. But it also becomes a thing where I almost feel kind of bad about it too. Like, fuck, like it's true. Like if I wanted to be the one to turn up, you wouldn't tell me no. You would be like, you can do it. I just won't do it. And it's like, I also realize that's part of me. Like, I should just be able to not do it if, even if I don't want to still be around, but it's like hard,
Everything you just said, everything you just said is literally over. There's like 100% exactly my relationship. So it's like literally everything makes total sense for me. Exactly. Yeah. So it's like, but I think that what it is like kind of, and I'll say in my position, what I'm starting to understand is what it is a projection of what I feel like and what in my issues onto this person who doesn't necessarily experience those same feelings or things when they perform those actions. Me, I go out, I party, the next day I feel like shit. I'm fucking unmotivated, but she's not. She goes out the next day. She's like, what are we getting for breakfast? Like there are levels in a sense, and it's not necessarily not level. I don't know. But it's just like different experiences. But it's also really, really hard not to project your own shit onto other people. And it gets confusing and it feels like, no, I just want it better for me. But it can become confusing where it's like, I don't know. It's almost like I had to really ask myself, is this a control thing? Am I really just being controlling? Like, and do I, what? And when you ask those questions, you start to learn like, oh yeah, maybe a little bit. And then you start pulling it back. You pull back the curtain a little bit. And then, and for me, I have found myself becoming a lot more like better about that situation, I guess, where, there's these different levels of energy and wanting to do things at different times or whatever. The best way I've gotten better with it is to understand that I'm going to have to do shit that I'm uncomfortable with, and I'm going to have to learn to be a different way. And it's going to suck and it's going to be hard, but like, I have to be uncomfortable. I have to learn to be a different way if I want to be a different way, but I can't have her. I can't drag her along with me. You know what I'm saying? So I've been putting myself in these positions that have been hard, but I have seen improvement, I guess. And I have fucked up, but I've also seen myself improving and being okay in uncomfortable situations and learning to say no at certain times or be slow and feel anxious or whatever the fuck. But in time, I've seen like, oh, there's ways to be, for it to not be an issue,
Yeah, no, I feel you completely because, like, it's true because it's like what you said about Monica about how it's like just because like you feel this way the day after you do it, like she doesn't, and it's like part of the reason it almost feels like because I feel the same way. Part of the reason I'm saying no, that I don't want to do it tonight is not because like, I mean, at least my rationale behind it is because like I know how I'm gonna feel. But you're right, I've gotten into that with Frankie before, or not even just from partying, just like other things. Because like I go through like it sounds too. So,
yeah, I feel you.
I'm not gonna make it sound lame because it's not lame. I know a lot of people go through it, but not everybody. Like Frankie doesn't really go through it, but like I go through moments where like even if we haven't partied or something, well, I'll go through like a 2-3 day period where I'm just like super unmotivated, super depressed, like super down. And then like you said, I end up projecting it on Frankie or like, no, I don't want to do this because like I feel this way without thinking like, but she doesn't feel this way. And like, and sometimes it's frustrating for me because I think, well, why don't you want to stay in? Like, I feel this way, but it's like, but that is projecting because like she doesn't expect me really to, I don't know, like if she didn't want to do something like, she really probably would be like, just go do it now, like maybe not back in the day, but now it'd be like, but like for me, it's like, well, fuck, if you're going to go, I'm going to go. But and when you just, I don't know,
when I ask myself why I can't be okay, like let's say I didn't want to do anything and she did, and she'd be like, okay, I'm just going to go to my friends for a few hours. Why does that feel like I'm dying inside? Like, why does the idea of being alone while she's out feel like I'm literally dying inside? Like, why?
No, dude, me and Frankie have gotten into this before.
Like, why?
Because it's happened where like I'll go hang out with Adam and them and shit, and like she'll be home and like with Paul or whatever, and like it's no problem. But then like she'll go out and it's like, okay, well then Paul's going to his dad's. I'm gonna go out too and hang out with my friends because the idea of sitting here alone while she's out just makes me feel like I'm gonna fucking lose it. Like no way. Like so like, I'd rather just go then. But it's not even just for partying. Like I said, it's also like I feel like and I'm starting to understand that. Like I can't be mad that Frankie doesn't understand when I go through those episodes, because if you don't feel that way, it's hard to understand why somebody would be depressed for no reason. Because for her, sometimes it's like, well, you don't go to work, you're getting paid, you're making money, you get to stay home and do pretty much whatever you want all day. Like, why are you so sad? And it's like some days, a lot of days I'm fine, but some days I'm like, dude, I don't know. I just feel so fucking down. Like I just don't want to do anything, And it's like, and I have projected on her before. Like I get mad at her, like you just don't fucking understand. But then I think about it, like honestly, like this didn't always happen. I feel like, I mean, I've always been kind of sad, down, but it didn't happen as much, So I feel like maybe I wouldn't understand it, like, so like she doesn't go through it. Like I can't be mad that you don't understand.
Well,
I would just be sad,
You know what I've noticed is that not having the daily communication that I used to have at older jobs, even with people I barely liked, but that daily interaction with like adults and kind of like in real, just fun conversations, bullshitting back and forth that you kind of have at school or at work or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, and even sometimes even the bad conversations, like you have people you work with that you're not so fond of or whatever, like just that constant interaction I've noticed that like not having that, because I work basically alone all day, I think that has caused me to get into these thought loops because I don't have these distractions, kind of, you know what I'm saying? And these up and down. But so I think for me, it's a lot of just like not maybe in the same, maybe for you, because I work alone, you work alone. It's just a lot of time to think. And maybe it's simply just that. And maybe we're building it up and it's not that big a deal. We're just bored. Like we were talking about.
That's what I was going to say. You know, I have noticed that. That is what I told Frankie. I was like, you know, because like I've always thought of myself as somebody who does enjoy their alone time. Like I do. Mm-hmm. Like I like being alone. I like when Frankie and everybody's out of the house sometimes and I have the whole day to just bullshit, listen to music, do whatever. Like I like that. But I do realize though, I guess I don't like it all the fucking time. You know? Like,
I feel you.
It is. Frankie's been working steadily through this whole pandemic shit. Mm-hmm. So like for the last, almost year now, I'm pretty much just in here with Cha-Cha. And then I go outside, you know, Paul's here. He's not here every day though, you know, and then pretty much my only interaction is on the Zoom shit, which it's cool with you, but it's like, you know, on Zoom, especially for me, I'm in a new class with new coworkers. I don't really talk to them that much. And since it's all really through Zoom, I don't really have a good friendship with them yet, you know, where you could just like you and me could just hop on and bullshit and talk, you know, but so for me, it's kind of like just being like alone all the time, which I do like, but I do notice like even the people I didn't like, just the fact of actually seeing people and interacting and being outside and not just being in the same, looking at the same fucking walls every goddamn day, like does make such a difference.
Just
and
that's the sensory changes, like there's literally the different smells, different sights, different.
Exactly.
You know,
and going out and like running and shit has been helping a lot just because like just getting outside, you know, and outside of the gates of the apartment complex.
It low-key sounds like we're dealing with some shit that people in jail deal with, you know, like a few weeks in. They're just like, I don't know. I'm talking to them, you know, low-key.
And I think about like for you and me, like we feel this way. Imagine like the people who took this shit so serious that they really haven't left, you know? Like I know there's not many people, but there are some people who really haven't seen like anybody outside of their family, you know? Like rarely besides the store. So it's like I can't even imagine that, you know? Like cuz I still go out and, you know, see friends. Like I've seen you during this time, you know? So it's like it's not like I don't see anybody. Obviously I don't go out as much. But without that daily like not even daily interaction, but at least like maybe once a week
just
to see other people.
Change of scenery.
Yeah. Like, dude, I love these, dude. Like when we do a mind control episode, like normally, like even if I have shit going on and I'm thinking like, oh, I got this shit to do after, like the second we start, it feels better. It's like, oh, cool. Like I could just sit here, have a conversation, just fucking just for a second, just talk about something and not worry about what I got to do. Or what I haven't done or whatever, you know.
For like the last like all day today, I was like, I don't want to say dreading it, doing it, but like I was like, fuck, I still feel like shit. I didn't feel like I was gonna be able to talk. I didn't feel like I was gonna just be sitting here and like have no energy. But you're right. The second we turn it on, where it goes. This is definitely, you know, definitely good for us to continue with these fucking things.
Dude,
definitely a green light. Definitely a green light.
Green light. Yeah, no, I felt exactly the same way. I was like, fuck, like. I really don't want to do it. Like, not that I don't want to do it, but I felt like shit. I got other shit to do. I want to run. Still want to do this. Like fuck. You know, I guess I'll do it. Like, I felt the same way. Like, I feel a little down still and a little bad.
Yeah.
But then, like the second like we started, I was like, okay, you know, like this actually kind of helps. You know, to not sit here and be in my own thoughts. You know, to sit here and talk about something. And you know, this just since we've gotten kind of far off of
you know, let me say this. I think that one of the things that issues we're having like with our significant others or whatever, I think that there's a beautiful way to describe it and get back into the book as well. I think that maybe we're experiencing that we're seeing new red lights that are not necessarily red lights for them, that they're actually green lights for them. And because we're experiencing these different lights, you know, it's confusing.
Yeah. I feel what you're saying. Yeah. And I feel like even like, I mean, I don't know. It sounds like for you and me, though, it's not even so much like problems with them as it is problems with ourselves. Yes. Like, I think Matthew Mcconaughey, I don't know if he did talk about it. I think he did, though, but about kind of like being kind of like, you got to know yourself and be like happy with yourself before you could really like, I mean, a lot of people say that, you know, but it's so true, you know, because if you're not happy with yourself, you like, like you said, we both do it. Like you project on that other person,
Yep.
even if it's not their fault that I fucking am depressed and feel like I haven't accomplished much. You know, it's like it's not her fault. Like, fuck.
I feel you exactly. Yeah, I think we have a lot of time to think, and we're just kind of really, going into a lot of new territory as men, and it's hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be complicated. It'll be days we fucking hate it, but I don't think it's not gonna be like this forever. We're figuring it out. You know what I'm saying? In a very wise way, and I think. Eventually there will be less and less bullshit days that we have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's the goal. I hope so.
Yes,
I would like to lead back in with a poem.
Yes. Which one?
All right. So this one's Days of Prosperity. I think this is actually my favorite one in the whole book. This is like the main one I wanted to do, but I feel like it's perfect for what we're talking about.
Hold on, let me let my cat out the door real quick.
Yeah. All right. Should I read it?
If you want, I can read it too, or whatever you want, or we just don't read it.
Yeah. You know what? You go ahead. You read.
All right. It's called Days of Prosperity. Days of prosperity make us forget adversity. Good times seem out of reach during the bad ones. Both can seem like final destinations, the summation of our days. Then the cosmic joker plays with our ways. Yesterday's condition no longer remains. All commas, no periods, all stops, no stays. The pleasure's for rent, and so is the pain. Damn.
Yeah, hey, damn, boy, you did that better than Matt. Bro, you had them stops and them pauses. Bro, why don't you do some more intros? You got that good. You have that documentary voice,
No, that's all you, bro. You do great on those intros. But I fucking, you got to check out the trip stories I've been doing. I did been pulling Arrowwood trip stories and reading them and trying to really work on like narration. So like I've been really working. They're pretty cool. I like them. But
that was a good reading of that. No, but this the reason I wanted. I like this one in general, but like I don't know, dude. It just makes me think of a lot of things we say. Like like because it's true. Like. I think it goes both ways, like how he says days of prosperity make you forget the ones of, the days of adversity. Adversity. Yeah. And, and it's like, it's true, and it goes both ways, because also really bad days when I'm really, really fucking having a bad down day. Like I know you were the other day. It's like, it also makes you forget about those good days where it's like, it doesn't seem like it's in reach anytime soon. Yep. But then it also does go like, sometimes you have great days and it feels like, fuck dude, like, this was amazing, and I love that how it ends too. Like the pleasure's for rent, and so is the pain. Like they're both like they're both temporary, and like you're just leasing both. You're never fully buying pain or pleasure.
For sure.
Like, you're leasing out both until it's up.
I think how there's a way to beat that, and in a sense, you got to almost enjoy the pain as much as you enjoy the pleasure. And I think that there's ways to do that by legitimately just beating your ass every day, literally just breaking your body, not breaking it, but fucking working your body, doing shit that's hard, keeping yourself fucking, focused on something, and literally basically creating your pain and choosing what pain you have, kind of like, would you rather feel fucking super depressed and or whatever in that pain, or would you rather feel the pain of fucking, running a few miles and working out every day? Like which pain, choose the pain you want, kind of.
No, dude, exactly. Like, because that's literally like last week I said when I was running, that's how it's been. Like, when I feel down, like it's hard to fucking do that shit, but it's like, it's choose. Like, am I going to sit here and be depressed? Or is like, or can I at least run and get something done? Even if I still feel bad after, I probably won't because I got something done. But I was like, either way though, beats just sitting here and just fucking staring at the walls.
At some point you got to like ask yourself like, okay, do you want to feel this?
What are you accomplishing by just sitting here?
Do you want to feel better? Like, cause this is not going to make you feel better. This is not, you're going to feel worse. So just like, stop fucking lying to yourself and just fucking make the decision. If you don't want to feel better, then be a bitch. That's what I tell myself. Like, be a bitch then. Just be a bitch and feel like a bitch, cause now you deserve it. Or just shut the fuck up and quit being a bitch.
And now you deserve it.
For real. Like sometimes it tells I have to call when I ran. The other day I told you when I was drunk, super drunk Saturday night. I woke up Sunday, started drinking again. I felt like an alcoholic. Closest I've ever felt to alcoholism. Was super weird. I never wake up and drink.
It's all right.
I've never done that, but I mean a Coachella and like wild, but not like just at home. But
Yeah.
I did it, and then I started feeling like shit about it. So I literally, after having like 2 mimosas and a glass of wine, went out, and after drinking all night, I went out and ran like 3.5 miles. And there were,
you fucking didn't.
I swear to God, I did.
Oh,
I swear to God, I did.
Bro.
I did.
Sounds horrible.
It was horrible, but it was fucking. It felt amazing though. Like halfway through, I was like, I just
surprised you didn't throw up.
there was a couple times where literally I laid on a hill and it was like, but I just told myself to quit being a pussy. I was literally yelling at myself, "Pussy, go!" But I did it.
Yeah, that's dope, bro.
It felt great.
It felt better.
Yeah, it felt amazing.
You should really do that when you're not drinking too. It'll feel even better, bro.
Yeah, I bet. Out of just pure shame, I'm sitting there forcing myself to run. But no, I do run. I have been running a lot. I do run, and then I do a lot of cardio at work. I do like 10 miles a day at just work.
Yeah, so it's like just walking around in, like in the warehouse, right? A big ass warehouse.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking. You know what I've been doing is I've been fucking smoking like super fat bowls before I go run, which I used to not. Like I would if I would do like weights and shit. And like I thought it would be worse because like, your lungs, like you're smoking and like it feels like my chest a little tighter when I first start, but I don't know because I'm fresh and it's like a fat bowl, like I'm super high that I can run like that. Those are the times where I can run like until I feel like I'm like on the edge of gonna pass out. Like, like I could pass that initial point where you feel like you have to stop, where then I get to the point where I feel like I could just keep running until it's like I'm done,
Yeah.
So it's like it's weird. Like it's weird just because I would think the smoke in my lungs would probably be a bad thing right before you run. But I swear I feel like it's
a common thing. Common thing I've heard with people who do like running and jogging that they like smoking weed while they're
dude, it is. It makes the run nicer. I'm more focusing on just the music, especially because I just smoked. Like it's like it makes it easier.
You got to check out that David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me. He is.
I know you're telling me about it,
bro. A lot of this fucking calling myself a pussy shit is coming from him, like straight up. So like, which is maybe good or bad, but I don't know. It feels good. Like I fucking tell myself, I'm a pussy, but I'm gonna change that shit. And that's like, it's like,
no, when I run, I tell myself that when I start getting tired, like, don't be a bitch.
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch. Like, you keep going. Like, pass out if you have to. Don't be a bitch.
So that's why I was okay with leaning on the hill a couple times. I did that, bro. I told myself I'm doing 12 laps around this bitch, and there's like 12 laps right here where I live. So I was like, I did it. Took me an hour. Took me like 45 minutes. 45 minutes.
That's fucking fast for drinking, bro. I wouldn't be able to do that shit, not drinking.
A lot of hills,
like
too.
It would sound like a good idea up until like I got halfway down the street, and then I'd be like, nah, fuck that.
I was calling my mom. I was drunk. I was calling my mom. I'm like, Mom, tell me I can do it. She's like, you can do it, Mikey. And I was like, yeah, I know I can. I was still drunk. That's why I was hungover until fucking last night. And still,
no, honestly though, bro, I was like, when he said you didn't want to do it last night, I was like, oh, cool. I was like, I'm tired. Like I was ready after I ate, but I was like, I'm fucking. Yeah. Once I got your text, I was like, yes. I was like, hallelujah.
I'm glad that I had a snow day today too. We were able to knock 2 of these motherfuckers out.
No, it was perfect. There's another. Did you have anything to say?
I'll add. I think we said this in Soul, but I'll just add this line: the best way to teach is the way that's most understood. Bumper sticker. I don't think it's a bumper sticker, but yeah, I just like that line.
Yeah, it probably is a bumper sticker.
Green light.
I love that shit.
I love it.
No, I wanted to talk about. I don't want to read it because it's a little bit longer, but I just kind of want to talk the idea about it because it reminds me of what you were saying a second ago about how you choose like your pain, you could choose to just sit there all day. You could choose to get up and do something, even if it's hard. Yeah. But the poem, though, I marked it in there. You could pull it up if you want for the screen. I'm not going to read it, but it's called Boundaries to Freedom. But the poem is basically about how you need to put up borders for yourself and boundaries and in order. And in this way, it actually like kind of creates freedom, which makes a lot of sense, because like if you put up borders to what you're doing and you put boundaries on yourself, and especially in the beginning of learning something, it allows you to just really like focus and like I don't know how to describe it. Like, you know, like this is what he says. He says the order creates responsibility, and then the responsibility creates the judgment, and then the judgment creates a choice. And then in the choice lies the freedom. But I don't remember if it was in this book or something. I was trying to find it the other day, and you can tell me if it was in this book, but it was very similar to this idea that, like, okay, you want to get good at something and you want to be really, really good. Like what we were saying, like soul type good, where you could just do it. Like then at first you need to create like boundaries. You need to be disciplined, because then if you're super disciplined and really learn something and just create these boundaries and just, force yourself to really work on one thing, even if it's hard and it's painful and it takes a lot out of you. If you can just build these good habits first, then in time, like you can, I don't know, you know, like you can find the freedom to go experiment and do your own thing. Or like for me right now, I feel like if I put these boundaries and I make myself run every day, no matter what, make myself play guitar, no matter what, every day, even if it takes a year, if I can just keep that responsibility for like a month, for a whole year, or just something like that, it would really just structure kind of my whole life, because then those are things that I can get done, and over time I will get better and better. And at the same time, they almost create boundaries for my life that, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this Sunday night because tomorrow I got to do this or I got to do that. And like, you know, and like, even though it's putting up boundaries, it's also creating freedom for me to do things that I really want to do that I sometimes don't do because like I have no fucking self-control, and I ruin my whole week, or I just choose to do nothing, or, you know, I don't know.
What you're trying to say is that small victories are where you get to the true glory. And
yeah, you know, and sometimes boundaries is the way to true freedom, and sometimes discipline is the way to be, you know, discipline isn't always, to be free. Sometimes having that self-discipline, it frees up other, it's like you said, like catching red lights and things that you shouldn't maybe be doing will free up and open up green lights and other avenues that maybe you should progress.
And I think, I think it's the path. It's kind of like, legitimately, this reminds me a lot about Jordan Peterson. You would fucking love his books and a lot of his interviews and stuff like that. But he talks about how, you know, taking responsibility is the true path to freedom. Being honest with yourself and things like that. And it reminds me a lot about the way he talks about, and it's a lot about self-improvement and being a man and taking responsibility for who you are and who you aren't. And like you said, choosing the pain is in a sense controlling it, and then it opens up paths to other things, because you're not focusing and getting lost and confused in where the pain is and when it's happening. You're in a way controlling it. Joe Rogan talks about this a lot. That's why he fucking works out so much, and he does what he does, and he goes and fasts or whatever the fucking other shit he does. He does like he goes in the sauna, he takes ice baths and things like that, and it sucks, but you come out of it, you feel amazing. Wim Hof. Go ahead.
Ooh.
Wim Hof.
No.
There's a guy named Wim Hof, and he has this breathing method, and basically doing the breathing method he's created, he's been able to like withstand very, very extremely cold conditions and go in ice tanks for like this crazy amount of time. He's a fucking through breathing. He's been able to accomplish like wild ass things just by breathing this certain way, and he is a firm believer in ice baths or taking a cold showers. And he talks about, and he has an app, and it talks about how taking a cold shower basically legitimately opens up these like shock proteins and like does something to your body to where, because you're legitimately choosing to go into a cold shower, turning the cold shower on and sitting there daily or whatever, longer, 30 seconds or whatever. He says start with 30 seconds, but because you're choosing to do that, you're basically overriding shit in your brain, which will cause things to other things in your body to have benefits, because you're literally breaking your brain's chemistry in a way. And it's hard to explain, but he has a book with the Wim Hof method that he released, and it's fucking wild. And so it's wild, dude. You should check it out.
I haven't heard of
Wim Hof.
But the fucking, what were you saying about him? About the
breathing method, ice baths.
Yeah, but about the cold
showers.
Sorry. Yeah. I don't know. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, I don't know about like all of that, which you're like saying, like, because I've never looked into it, but I actually have heard that a lot from people that is like that you're not supposed to be taking hot ass showers. Like you're supposed to be taking cold showers. Like it's way better for you. It's better for your skin. It's better for your hair. I heard it's way better for you in general.
Yep.
Yeah, I never knew why, but that's interesting. That's cool. Wim Hof. I'll check him out.
Yeah,
never heard of him.
Yeah, he's dope. He's real good.
But I was gonna say earlier though what you were saying about Joe Rogan working out and shit. Yeah, I think I sent you something like that in text about he brought that up about how like back in the day we normally when you get stressed or anxiety like evolutionary back in the day like it was because your life was in danger or something, so you had to exert energy to feel better or to save yourself or to fight or whatever, but you would exert energy. But now since we don't have that, we get stressed, and if like for people who do work out, it does, a lot of people who work out religiously or like all the time will tell you like I need to work out, like it literally helps me think better, feel better. And it's true. And then I never really thought of it in that way until Joe Rogan said that in the Matthew Mcconaughey podcast. He's like, I feel like, like working out, that gets your energy out, especially when you're stressed. Like that's a way for you to get the energy, because then after you do it, maybe some of those problems are still there, but you think clearer. You're able to deal with them better, and like not in a more normal way than being pent up with emotion and frustration, which isn't how you should deal with anything,
It's like right after you ejaculate and then you look over and you're like, for a few minutes, you're like, damn, why did I do that with you? You have this. We all been there. No, but yeah, dude, I love that you watched the Joe Rogan podcast with him too. But he talks about that a lot, dude. Just like choosing to what your stress is and how much it helps and shit like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's cool. It definitely, like, I'm noticing that it helps, because like that's like, because right before Christmas I was running and shit, but I was like running to work out, I guess. And then, and like certain days, if I was feeling really bad, I would take a day off or whatever. But last week on like Monday and Tuesday, like I didn't feel that great, but I made myself. And like every time I made myself, like you just notice after, like, fuck, like half the battle is getting your fucking shoes on. Yep. And once you're out there though, like doing it, it's like, fuck, you feel better.
Dude, you got to check out the David Goggins book. He literally says those exact words. He's like, motherfucker. He said, I stared at my shoes for 30 minutes the other day. Like he said, I listened to my thoughts. I wrote them down. I recorded myself. I sound like a little bitch. Like, you got to check him out, bro. He's a Navy SEAL. You'll fucking love him, dude. Okay. Please. Before Wim Hof, check him out. He's great.
All right. Yeah. Send me send me like the title or whatever. And
I'll send you the fucking link, the Amazon link.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. No, that's fucking. It sounds interesting. Like I like I've been more. It's funny because like before we started doing this podcast and shit, I've never really been interested. Like a lot of things I read are like stories and shit. Like I've never really been too interested in reading like any type of thing that were like self-help, like advice type shit. Yeah. But then like, after like, especially after this book, like the Matthew McConaughey, even though it wasn't like in your face, like, oh, do this, do that. Yeah. Like I like reading it because it did make me think about my own life and like, oh, like, these are interesting ways to look at things and to turn these negatives into positives. Absolutely. And to just live, and that you got to get out there and like. It was cool. Like it made me feel, when I would read it, I would feel better after, like, okay, like more optimistic. Like, okay, yeah, dude, you know what? Yeah, like I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna get my passport. I'm gonna start going places. You know, like. So this
is like your first self-help type book. I guess this isn't necessarily even that. Yeah, that's wild to me because I've read a few, like A Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which I fucking always tell you about, and then 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. Holy fuck, dude. That's like a little bit more, like I would say, like I felt like I was not really even necessarily ready for that book. It seems like maybe a more older man type book, but there's definitely beautiful lessons to learn there. But at the very least, I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this one. Subtle Art, it was perfect and still is. I read it again the other day. But
I'll have to check it out. I know you've been telling me for a long time about Soror.
The beautiful part about that book to me is it's no bullshit. It's not like do this and you'll be happy. It's like, no, you're not gonna be happy, and you gotta choose what your pain is. And that's a lot of, I think, is that Buddhism? Is like choosing your pain, or I think it is. I think that's Buddhism, and I think maybe not. I could be totally off. But subtle art they talk about that, how it's just like a toned down 21st century version of, I think, Buddhism. I could be wrong, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to read it. Fucking get on me about it. I'll read it soon. Because I really enjoyed reading this because of that. You know, like it made me. Yeah, because like you said, like normally I read if I read stories and shit, like I'm thinking bigger ideas, bigger picture shit. But like this made me think about me more. Like okay, like what am I doing? How far am I off from like achieving things that I want, or like what do I want? You know, like I like how he said that, like before you can have, or like before, forget what he says, before you get something, like always ask yourself, do you want it? You know, like I remember he talks about buying. He bought, or his maid was like ironing his pants or something. Like and then his mom asked, like, "Well, that's cool if you want that done." And he's like, "I never thought, like, it was never a possibility, and like because it is, like, which I bet you was a thing that, like, you know, like if you get really rich quick, like that probably is a thing, like, you know, because like you and me, like I clean my place, I fucking cook, I'll fucking do things around here, you know, but like." You get more money, you start to realize, oh shit, like I could get someone to do it for me, blah, blah. And like a lot of those things, those are great things. But like, when does it come to the point where it's like, oh, well, do I want that done for me? Or like, do I want to just do that myself? Because I've always thought that with like, this is stupid, but like with like celebrities and their drivers, like I like driving around, and it's terrible maybe it sounds. I love smoking and being in the driver's seat and having music on. Like I wouldn't want a driver for everything I did. Like maybe every once in a while to go somewhere if I'm going to get super fucked up or something, but it's like otherwise, like I actually kind of enjoy driving, you know, and it just I like that, like before you grab something just because you can have it, like ask if you want it in the first place, you know, because I feel like a lot of people don't get that. It's like, oh, you can have it, then let's fucking go, let's do it. Like, but it's like, do you want it though? You know,
it's true. It's funny because it's funny that you say that, because like there's like a lot of things that I've bought, like DJ speakers that like I've used twice. And like, why am I like, and I think about it, the reason I'm buying this stuff is probably because of some ego thing or some insecurity thing when it really comes down to it. Maybe even the people I have, you know, chosen to be around, or I'm around them for certain reasons, or not around them for certain reasons, or like for certain family I choose to be close to, or certain, I don't even know what I'm going into, but it's just like kind of, I don't know. It's just so, it can be confusing, I guess, when you think about it like too much. And I think that I have unfortunately made the mistake of getting caught in this weird loop, this late sometimes, where it's just like, fuck, why am I doing this? Why am I, you know, whatever. But what the fuck ever.
I found myself doing that. Did I talk to you about this? Maybe not. But I found myself doing that with, especially the beginning of this pandemic, being home a lot with fucking like clothes. Like I bought a lot of fucking like dope shirts that I thought were super dope. But then, you know, I would have never thought twice about it. But then as time kept going on and I kept buying more and more shit, and I still wasn't really going out anywhere, I started thinking, because I wasn't wearing a lot of it, because I was like, oh, I'm going to wait till I go out. And then it started making me think, wait, okay, so I'm not going to wear this alone in my own house because I want to wait till I go out so I could show it off. So why did I buy this? Did I buy this for me, or did I buy this so I can show everybody and show it off when I'm out? Because like I'm obviously don't have any desire to wear it in the house by myself, even though it's something I like. It's like I don't want to wear it here because I want somebody to see me in it. It's like, okay, well, if that's the point, then why did I buy this then? Was this ever a purchase for me, or was this a purchase for like my ego and my reputation? And you know, and it's like, fuck, dude, like, and I've been steady buying less clothes because I'm thinking like, oh, why, you know, like, but like it just made me think, like, you know, just a lot of things, like you said, like a lot of things I do, like, am I doing it for me always, or am I doing it sometimes because this is where the party's at, or this is where this is at, or this is, you know, I don't know, you know.
I feel you. But it a lot of the shit in the book made me think about, it was not even like I said about Kid Cudi, kind of like, it was, this book kind of reminded me in that way, like it wasn't almost like an experience in and of itself. It was like a theme song You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't a song, it was a theme song. So the song or the book went with the experience of your life. The same way Kid Cudi's music, you know, you in my opinion, it's a theme song or whatever. Like it's whatever. And same thing with this book.
I know
You know?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I feel like this book was like, it's weird. It is weird. A lot of the things, I think you said it earlier, but a lot of the things I feel like with the mind control, they feel like they've kind of come in, not every time, but they've come in when I need them. Like I remember when we did pure comedy and shit. I mean, honestly, that kind of fucked with my head a little bit.
Yeah, me too.
Or like, you know,
I was fucked up.
But it was like, I don't know, it was cool, like their experiences. And then sometimes things come in, like this one I feel like came in. I feel like the Jim Carrey, I didn't know I was looking for that book. But like once you suggested it and I read it, I was like, oh shit, like this is a book I'm really glad I read, and kind of feel like at the time I read it too, like it really made me think, you know, like it's just like it's kind of cool. Like that's why I love this podcast. Like it's cool getting into things, you know, and like for sure. I would have never, like, I probably would have read this book because my mom bought it for me, but I would have never like probably gotten into it, and I probably wouldn't have got into it for a while. I remember one of the reasons was I was like, okay, because I got a couple of books, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna start this one because maybe it could be something for the podcast, could be interesting. Yeah, that was the whole reason I started it first. Otherwise, it would have probably sat on my shelf for a long time, you know. But I did it because I was like, oh, I want to see for this, and then it ended up being something that I'm like, oh shit, I love this.
And I feel like we've talked about it before in a sense, like how this podcast can, or at least maybe for me only, but whatever, you can see it kind of like be an ego-driven thing. We're sitting here talking about our ideas and what we think about things, and look at us, we're talking about what we think and da da da. Yeah. But in a sense, it's been even if it is ego-driven maybe or whatever the fuck, superficial. No, it's not superficial, but like, you know what I'm saying. Even if it has hints of that. Overall, it's a fucking green light because it's positive for both of us. We're learning, we're enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, there's whatever.
Green light. Yeah. Green light for sure. No, I do. And I find it too, like, it's a little therapeutic too.
Yeah, like, for sure. I was just thinking that.
Like, especially like, I feel like today's like 2 episodes. Cause like you said, when you went into today, you're like, fuck, kind of dreading it. And I felt the same way. I was like, all right, we got to do it. It's got to get done. Yeah. But I was like kind of dreading it. But then like, I don't know, like through Soul and through this, like I feel like, you know, like I find myself just talking, which is sometimes kind of what I need, you know?
Yeah, man.
And I feel like, like it helps, like,
fuck yeah,
especially the ideas that we end up tackling with some of these books.
And
you know?
We're going through the exact same shit. Like, what the fuck? It's so weird. Like we're spirit animals or something.
We're spirit.
Each other's spirit
like
animals.
One. But dude, yeah, man. Do you have anything else?
I think I have a couple lines here. I like less impressed and more involved. I love that.
Ooh, I'm really glad you actually brought that up. That's one of my favorite sayings in the whole book. Yeah. I think it really applies to everything. Like, being less impressed with the situation and more involved. Because I think also, like, on, you know, the surface level, like of it, what it's saying, like, just be more involved and less blinded by all the pretty things around and being more involved in your life. But I also feel like it's also like a very good saying to have for like something that you're trying to achieve too.
That's what I took it from. The first thing you said I didn't even take. I got the second. Really? Yeah, I didn't even
I got that one. But yeah, stop being so impressed by like,
your accomplishments.
Yeah, and start being fucking more involved in it. Don't even worry about that. Stop being impressed with your own self or with people around you. Be involved with your own
What do you think he meant?
I think it probably both ways, but because you know, I took it too as like, you know, like because he says it too, like when his dad died, he had to get more involved, and it was like, like stop being so distracted by the pretty things and impressed with all the cool things you could do, and get more involved with your actual surroundings in your life and be involved in it. But I feel like it's for both, you know.
Yeah, it makes sense both ways. Yeah, I feel like he was talking. I don't know who the fuck cares. That shit was fire. Sometimes which choice you make is not as important as making a choice and sticking to it. That was another one that was like,
that one hit, bro.
Holy fuck! I want to get that tatted on me, bro. Like, it's so fucking true because you could sit there trying to make a decision and then just waste fucking time forever. And then who gives a fuck because it doesn't matter what decision you make because you didn't fucking give yourself, you lost the time. So it's you just lost the time.
Yeah, and it's like you sit there and dreading both decisions or weighing them out, but making one is more important than just sitting there and doing nothing, you know?
Yeah. It's not about right or wrong. It's about understanding each other. That was kind of like an idea that he brought up, I think, when he was at the Wallabies. Or over there. It's not the Wallabies.
I don't remember the last
Norville Redenbacher? No, wait. That's
Orville.
No, that's Orville. No, I literally halfway, I said saying that, I was actually serious, and halfway saying Redenbacher, I was like, oh, this is a popcorn. But yeah, there was another thing I wanted to bring up that what the fuck? I forgot what it was. It's not about right or wrong. Oh, I really liked I texted you about it. What his dad told him when he told him he was gonna not go to film school or not go to legal school. Is that?
Law school.
Law school, and he was going to go to film school, and how his dad took a second to pause and said, "Well, don't half-ass it." That is that what the words?
Don't half-ass it.
That's fire, dude. That was like, damn, man. If somebody would have told me that back in the day, man. Just like, give me, because he even said, he was like, I had the perfect amount of humility, of, inspiration. He had all these different emotions from that one thing, but it was the perfect thing he could hear. So it's like, those moments are huge in a kid's life. Yeah.
No, I know. It was his parents seemed interesting. They were cool. It was cool, you know. Yeah. His whole family seems kind of cool. Like they seem like exactly what I would have thought, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Like I don't know. Like, you know, that's what I felt like when I read this book. I was like, this book kind of confirms exactly how I imagined Matthew McConaughey's life has been up to this point, you know.
Naked with the bongos, fucking fighting a dude. What did he do? He wrestled that dude in I forget where Africa? They were in Africa. Yeah, that was wild. He did so many wild things, dude. Such a great book.
Exactly. I know. Was there any other quotes?
No, that's it. That's all I had. Yeah.
I had one that it was just a poem. It was the One in a Row, which I think would be a good one to end on. Not end on, but you know, good last poem.
One in a row. Got it.
All right. So 1 in a row. Any success takes 1 in a row. Do one thing well, then another. Once, then once more. Over and over until the end. Then it's 1 in a row again. Damn. And like, dude, I fucking love that shit because like that's what I think we were talking. That's what I was kind of talking about earlier. Like, you know, like the more you repeat it, and like it's not about like. Sometimes it helps to not look at the big picture, like to not be so impressed with the big picture and so overwhelmed with it. Yeah. Get involved and do it step by step. Or like there's another saying that's like, there's a saying, it's not in the book, but you probably heard it. It's something about laying a brick, like you lay a brick each day.
Oh, brick by brick I think Will Smith said something like that.
It's like not about the big picture like right away. Like it is about the big picture. Yeah. I mean, I guess like keep that in your head, but it's like about 1 in a row, like you know, like don't be so fucking expecting to get everything so quick and that everything comes easy. It's like easy, like a victory every day, you know, like exactly. You said, choosing the pain and choosing the fight every day, even if you don't always win, but choosing that fight every day is the most important thing you could do. Not giving up. Then eventually you'll start winning and you'll get on a streak if you could just force yourself, you know?
And then once you see yourself developing these new habits and being a better person and actually even like getting in a habit of fixing your bed every day, like tiny little things like that, you'll start being like, oh shit, I can do things. Oh shit, I can change myself. And then it'll get easier and easier. And it's wild. It's wild.
The hardest part, it's from BoJack. I think I've said it before, but it's Give me a second.
Yeah, good. Good.
Yeah. I know it too, and I'm like, God damn it.
Everybody listening, check out Mind Control sweaters and t-shirts now. I think I said it in the last episode. I didn't say this one yet, but you can get them right underneath the YouTube video you're looking at, or you can go to Audible484.com if you're not looking at the YouTube video and you're just listening. We got white and black hoodies and t-shirts. So check it out. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Audible_484 and the universe 0101.
Nice.
Right? Yeah.
At the universe 0101. But no, I was gonna say it's every day it gets a little easier, but you got to do it every day, and that's the hard part, you know. And it's like, you know, it's simple, but it's true as fuck, you know. True. Like, you know, it does, but it's like it's just like with life too, you know. Because I feel like the older, I don't know. because I feel like I do deal with shit now, like more intensely,
Mm-hmm.
but also I still feel like definitely different than I dealt with it 10 years ago, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I'm hoping it'll just keep improving, you know?
I feel like,
you know,
yeah, it was a lot. I feel like it was, it's different when you're younger because you're able to lie to yourself very easily. And you can't do that anymore. Now you're like, you call your own bullshit because you've been there. You know you're lying to yourself. So back in the day, you'd be like, oh, fuck that. This is alcohol, not a penis or nothing. But, you get fucked up and just be like, cool, but like whatever. And be like, I'm better than that. Fuck that, But then you see 10 years go by and all the times you failed and all the times you lied to yourself and then eventually you just can't do it no more. The same way you can't, So, either way, yeah. Yes, sir.
Oh shit, man! I feel like
Greenlights.
we tackled some green light. We tackled some intense ground,
We did. That was wild. That was a good episode.
Both were. I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
But next episode's True Detective, right?
Yes, that's gonna be so much fun, dude. I can't wait. Monica's never seen it. She's
never seen it at all.
She said she tried to watch it and didn't or something, but I'm like, no, babe, you're gonna like it.
I'll probably start it tonight again. No, bro, Rustin Cole. I like. Oh, dude, that's an interesting story too. That I would like to bring it up just because it's in the book and this is about the book. So I know we went off on tangents about our sad personal life. But fucking, I love though that. Not I love. It's actually a pretty crazy story. But when he got seen A Time to Kill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And for people who
I haven't watched
it
in a while, but.
Yeah, dude, I fucking love it. But anyways, Jake Brigance is the main guy, and originally Woody Harrelson was going to play Jake Brigance, but John Grisham, who wrote the book, his best friend was murdered by this couple who was imitating Mickey and Mallory from Natural Born Killers, and Woody Harrelson is Mickey. So that's why I didn't get it. He says it in the story, in the book. He talks about that.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Woody Harrelson was originally the lawyer, but then John Grisham, since he wrote the book, had a say, and he's like, "No, I don't want the guy who played him in a movie, to be this guy," because like that couple ended up killing his friend in real life, and they said that they were going on a spree like Mickey and Mallory, and I was like, it's pretty fucking crazy. Yeah, and it's cool. I like that Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson are like best friends too.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you knew that. Like, so dope. That makes True Detective even better. Yeah. It's like I'm like, fuck, dude. Like, you can tell. Like, they're just like, I don't know. It's a good fucking show.
It's a good fucking show. I can't wait. I'm excited for sure. It's gonna be the first time doing a show too. So it's gonna be interesting. Right. So like, how do you think
want to break it down episode by episode?
I don't know. We'll talk. We'll talk after the
okay,
episode. Yeah. Well, that's behind the scenes shit. They don't need to hear about it.
Yeah.
Y'all mind your business.
Yeah. You don't gotta go home. You gotta
yeah, man. If you guys are watching on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. You can leave a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And Audible484.com for merch.
Yep. Just keep living, baby.
Green light.